Hey everybody, how you doing? Today we're going to do one of those things that I think makes the villages really great, or visit one of those things that makes the villages really great, and it has to do with beer. Let's go ahead and get started. Everybody, how you doing? I'm Rusty Nelson, and welcome once again. This is a channel that we do stuff about the villages, or we do stuff about retirement, or anything that may interest a lot of people in that, even if it has to do with fixing squeaky garage doors. So please take a second and go ahead and subscribe and like this if you think it'll help you out. But this one is a fun video. As you know, in the villages, and especially one of the things that I really like about it, is there are so many clubs and activities. It's almost endless. And if there is not something that you find interesting, they make it really easy to start your own club. And there's 140,000 people out there that just might be looking for whatever you're interested in. But in this case, I got introduced to the craft beer club. And so instead of just going over there, I figured it'd be kind of fun if I took my camera over with me and found out what it was all about. And when I got over there, I met some people I already knew, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. So I'm inviting you along. Now, it's kind of a mishmash of stuff, but I think you'll get the general idea. And I fully encourage you, if you live here in the villages or you're thinking about coming to the villages, take advantage of the over 3,000 clubs there are. Anything from, places where you live, clubs from Philadelphia, or, about living in Pennsylvania, or people that live in Pennsylvania, different religions, different politics, different just about everything, even to people that just love going to Disney or going out to dinner. This just so happens to be a really fun one. And the cool thing about it was, it wasn't just a bunch of people sitting around drinking. You actually learned a lot, and I learned a lot about beer. So it kind of helped me out figuring out what I may like to try and what I may not like to try. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look. And I guess I'll jump in where I have to, and then I'll see you on the other side. I'm here today at Everglades, and I'm about ready to attend something that's pretty fun. I've told you a bunch of times there's over 3,000 clubs in the villages, and this is one that I was introduced to, and I've been to 2 meetings so far, and they're a lot of fun. And I'm going to let the guy that started it introduce himself and his cohort, and here they are.
Cohort, that's a good name.
Cohort.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Joe Mongan. I'm president of the Villages Craft Beer and Brewing Enthusiasts, and this is George Hohenwater.
Hello.
And so, who started this actually?
I started the club back in May of 2021. And I really started a little sooner, but we all know what happened a little sooner than 2021, and we had the COVID stuff that shut us mostly down. So as far as the club's next, May of 2023, then we'll be 2 years old.
And then George, and he needs a microphone.
He needs a microphone.
Yeah, just introduce yourself.
I'm George Hohenwater from the Village of St. Catherine, longtime Illinois resident here now. And I'm I think I said, the vice president, and met Joe about a year and a half ago. In September, that's when I joined the club, when the club was still probably about 30 members or so.
And you met at the club?
Yes, I saw something in the online, I called them. It was interesting, we had the same area code, so we were wondering about that.
Yeah, we're both from Illinois and basically about 100 miles away from each other, so that's pretty interesting.
It's kind of fun how you get to meet a lot of people through these clubs. Yes. And so Joe, how did you, when you first started, did you have problems getting members, or was it pretty easy?
Well, when we first started, the difficulty is that we couldn't meet a lot of people in one room, you know what I mean, and things like that. The second difficulty is we had to work towards getting our insurance that allows us to actually share beers with each other. So we have our own alcohol insurance, which is unique to this club. Without sharing and without people bringing it. Used to be, we would pick a style of the month and each person would bring that beer, and it's like, how does it taste? Well, I don't know. This guy's got it, that guy. So we couldn't do it. So the key to our club is actually tasting and sharing beers and getting familiar with beer styles.
Yes.
And I have partaken in this, and you're going to get to see this tonight. It's a lot of fun. And so how many members do you have now? This is 2 years
Currently,
later.
we're just a little touch over 275 people. So
And
paid members.
this is the first night. If you guys look around, this is the big room, right? So this is your first night here?
Yeah, currently this room will hold 175 basically. The first meeting in May, I had like 10 people. The thing about it is those 10 people are still coming today. So that's pretty interesting, you know, and it's very good to this club. This club is very unique socially because we have a lot of couples. This is not just a men's only club, you know, like men only drink beer. A lot of women have joined this club and couples.
Now, you guys brew your own beers, right?
Yes.
And you both do?
Yes.
And one of you has a beer coming out locally?
Yeah. I have a beer that was brewed down in Tampa at Seventh Son. And she has actually 2 locations. The Seventh Son is in Dunedin and Seventh Son in Tampa. And how I met Devin was on a bus trip that we do. We do bus trips about every 2 months to breweries.
And this is your recipe?
Yeah, it's a recipe. It's actually a special IPA. It's a different style of IPA that's not out there. So the only place that you can get it currently is in Seventh Son in Tampa.
And so we can't get it up here?
We're having it up here tonight because this is the first release up here tonight. So it's a local.
See that? You get to try all these the good stuff here first, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to do some tasting. We'll go through this as a night. I'll post some video of it, and then you do a talk.
Yes, I do a talk. One of the goals of the club is to learn more about beer and different beer styles. So that's my part of the meeting is I take people through the different types of beers. And tonight we're talking about pale ales and session IPAs. So we'll talk about those type of beers. Then we will taste those type of beers also. So it's also educational, but the fun part about beer is getting around and drinking and enjoying those craft beers with other people because we all enjoy the beers different ways. Some might taste different flavors. And it's just the fun of talking about that and sharing beers with your friends.
Yeah, now, how does the beer get here?
Well, that's the unique part of what we do is because the people, we ask them, go out and search and don't get the normal off the shelves that you see every day. Try to search out for those beers that are unique. So then we say, look, go out there and get that. So what you get the advantage of is that a lot of people will say they don't like IPAs. Well, the thing is, you really just haven't had the right one. So what happens here is we'll have a whole table full of beers that you can film tonight, and you can walk up and just you're only taking a couple 2-ounce samples of each beer, but you can work your way down the line and say, I like that, and then you can go shop for that. It's to get your palate ready for what you're looking for. Instead of just drinking one single beer, we'll probably have 20 to 30
So
different beers.
a lot of the people bring different beers.
That's what we ask, is just to bring beers to share. Because we
no
supply
Ultra?
some beer, but not.
No Ultra?
No Michelob Ultra. We have that. It's called Aquafina currently, is what it's called.
We do have a couple of club members that like to violate that too.
And we like to let them know that. But.
Yeah. And tease them a little bit, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, that was a little introduction kind of from the guys that were involved in this from the very beginning. And you're going to see the room starts filling up, and I'm going to let these guys explain exactly what the pieces are so you understand it. And then you'll kind of get the gist of what a whole meeting's like.
These are what? What's happening here at this table?
The members are bringing beers in that are for sharing later on. So we have pale ales, session IPAs, and we have a table over there too that has a whole bunch of just beers that people bring in. It's called our open table. So
that's where you'd bring the Ultra.
That's right. That's where actually the Ultra stays in a cooler underneath the table.
So eventually this is all beer that members bring.
Members are bringing.
So people can try.
That's right.
Now today is a certain type of beer.
Yes, today is pale ales and session IPAs. And so that's what we're dividing them. We're putting them on tables, and people are bringing them in.
Okay.
And by time, it's still early. This will be full of beers here in a little bit.
And then what's going on over here?
And then over here we have our membership, where people are buying their membership cards, and also buying T-shirts, glassware, all of those type of things.
These are tasting glasses.
Those are some tasting glasses. Those are perfect for bottle shares and what we're doing tonight.
And now you know exactly what the membership costs.
Yep.
In T-shirts.
It's very reasonable cost.
And there's people looking pretty official here.
Yeah, we have Dylan Todd back there. He's another vice president.
Okay, how's it going? Great. Getting everybody signed up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's a busy time for them right now, selling 50/50s.
So this is just the beginning. People are coming in. A lot of people sitting at the tables already, kind of talking to each other and
yes,
already starting to try some of their own beers,
yes,
right?
people do that. Yeah. It's okay.
Okay, we're going to continue on with today. As I'm sitting here, a couple of people showed up besides Tim and Patty. Some other folks that live right around me that you may recognize from some other videos, and that's Bob and Liz. We're newbies. So this is your first time here,
Yes.
right? And whose fault is it that you're here?
Yours?
Yep. And so all of us are kind of from around the same neighborhood. If you look down the table, and some people are new. So this is just another great way to meet people.
Then after a bunch of socializing, which is definitely a lot of fun, you get to meet a lot of people and get to meet the new members. They do a little bit of business stuff, which you guys really don't need to hear, but it's usually pretty quick. And the business ends over. And then George, who you met, which was the second guy in the beginning of it, he actually does each time some education, and it kind of goes like this. I'll let you see a little bit of it.
All right, for the fun part where we get to learn. So for the new members, welcome. Glad you're here. One thing was part of the club is we're just not here to drink beer. Part of it, but that's not what the main reason. We're also here to learn about the different types of craft beers, and that's what we do right now. So today we're going to talk about pale ales and session IPAs. And if you remember from last month, we talked a lot about the history of IPAs. And so the question, when I was doing the research for this, if you think about IPAs and how they came through history, where did they start from? What was the base beer? Pale ales. Pale ales are lower alcohol, lower hop.
For those that are not familiar with what this beer is, this is one of my recipes that has been brewed down at Seventh Son in Tampa. It's also, we brewed 465 gallons of this beer. This is also what we consider a brand new style IPA. There's nothing else like it. So you guys are going to be basically the first ones, besides our bus trip that went last Saturday, that are going to try this beer.
I'm going to try to do this, even though it's still very noisy in here. There's still a lot of people, as you can see. And this is the Villages Craft Brewing and Enthusiasts, something like that. I'll put it down in the links down below. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been about an hour and a half now, hour and 45 minutes. And I've learned, all the times I've been here, I've learned a lot about beer. Bunch of friendly people, everybody talking about everything you can imagine here in the Villages. And if you want to look them up, you can look them up on their Facebook page. They are here at Everglades every fourth Thursday, which is their new time. And you can also look them up in the club listings in the Villages district.org, I believe it is. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you can hear me. I'm getting a little hoarse from talking. And as always, I'll either see you down here in the Villages, I'll see you back on YouTube, or in this case, I'll see you at the beer tasting. Have a wonderful day.